my first memory of being around alcohol was a very specific memory of me when I was around 11 years old.
Yeah.
And when I was going through my addiction of alcohol, you know, my kids and my wife had gone through a lot of things due to me.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was just basically saying, you know, oh, they'll forget about it when they're older.
Right.
This is the Atomic Souls Podcast.
Welcome to Atomic Souls Podcast. Who are you and what do you do?
So my name's Stephen Meyer, and we are Sober Society.
Yes.
So, yes.
Awesome. Welcome. And what is Sober Society?
So Sober Society is two things. Back in the day, about 2-3 years ago, after I got sober, ended up getting a shirt made. My wife made for me that said "Tattooed and Sober" on it.
Yes.
And we got a lot of attention from random people just stopping us on the street and just being intrigued by the word sober.
Yeah.
And that actually just made us think, you know, it got people's attention, and we started up an apparel line.
Right.
So other people can rock that shirt and get that attention and get the word out there.
Yeah.
Get more people to come forward out of, if it was their darkness or whatnot, to be proud of, you know what, I am sober and I'm wearing this proudly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So as that went on, we kind of felt like the community was wanting something bigger.
Yeah.
And so we started up a nonprofit, a 501c3, that we just got our determination letter, which we're excited.
Yes, congrats.
Very, very happy for that. And we host men's meetings, and we just launched our women's meetings as well.
Yes.
But they all kind of go together, the apparel line versus the groups that we do. We're starting to go into gatherings as well too, events, sober events, like a sober game day. We just hosted at Chicken and Pickle in San Antonio.
Yes. How was that?
It was great. It was great. It was a good turnout. This is our second one in a row.
Nice.
So we're doing different events, and we're coming up with different ideas, maybe workouts, hikes, things of that nature, just to get the community together.
Really community focused.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Good.
There
Good.
you
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like we grew similarly, where we had these people who wanted to be a part of something bigger, and we're getting into events as well. And it's been really like interesting to see and to grow. But it's had its own headaches. Like, what have been some of like the bumps in the road the last few years for y'all? Have there been any?
Honestly, there hasn't been really too many. Just getting the companies to work with us. You know, we're really tied in with Black Rifle Coffee. They've
Nice.
given us the opportunity for us to host our men's meetings.
Yeah.
And it's about reaching out. It is time consuming. It does take a lot of my time up to go and visit these people, but I wouldn't say there's been any setbacks. It's a great feeling because we're getting people out in society that actually can communicate and have fun. And that's the whole thing behind it. And the whole goal is to have fun without alcohol.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people out here in society and the community that they're at a bar scene or a restaurant scene and like, hey, how do I have fun?
Yeah.
You know, and they're stuck in their own self.
Yeah.
And it's really about getting out of yourself and just having a good time. And what better way to have other like-minded men and women around
Yeah.
to do
just,
that.
like, living a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
I love that. I feel like for San Antonio especially, I feel like Austin's been kind of doing this like health conscious scene.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like San Antonio is like getting into that? Y'all, it seems like y'all are really kind of on the forefront of that for San Antonio.
And we were just having this conversation. I know that Austin is really driven, and it's wild. My wife just mentioned this. You got the party scene of Austin, and then you have the recovery scene.
They're both strong.
So they're very much. So I think it's slowly going into San Antonio,
awesome.
and I think that we are at the forefront as well too.
Yeah.
One of the other benefits of our nonprofit, as we start to raise money, we'll be able to give back and help individuals get into sober homes and recovery centers and things like that too.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
What's the motivator behind that? Like, was there something that happened, or like, where did that idea come from?
For me, when so during some of my recovery and my story, that brought up a lot of this is I had gotten laid off during when I got really, really bad into my addiction of alcohol.
Yeah.
That when I ended up going to an IOP, it was really hard for me to afford it. So
you lost your insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things, like, you know what, and a lot of people struggle, and it may not necessarily they have insurance, but hey, we can help with maybe an application process and get your copay taken care of, get you in the door.
Yeah.
So they still have some skin in the game, because what I've found out, and even myself, if somebody's paying full price for it, you really don't have full attention, if that makes sense.
Right. You have to.
And if you do have that skin in the game, you know what?
Yeah.
You want to put all your efforts into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to sacrifice something.
Exactly.
Whether that's time, energy, finances, and
sure.
Finances can go so deep for us as humans, and so it's important to have that aspect in there as well. So this is rooted in your experience of like your addiction and recovery story.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
What was that like, struggling to find somewhere, find treatment, find support? Like, what did you end up landing on that was like your pathway?
There was a company in San Antonio called SARC that I did, and it was very helpful. I was very helpful with the groups, and of course at the time, I'll be very, very candid. You know, I did it because my wife wanted me to.
Right. Yeah.
And that goes along with most. We heard it last night at one of our meetings yesterday that it was an ultimatum, and truly it was an ultimatum.
Yeah.
But as I got through the treatment and went through the treatment, I started realizing, you know, hey, of course I'm doing this for my wife, but you have to realize you need to do it for yourself.
Yeah, it started to
and then that's when things actually start triggering in your head. Like, you know what, I'm not doing it for somebody else. I need to do it for myself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing it for yourself, you're not really becoming a better man.
Right.
You're still holding on, and you're still wearing that mask.
Just going through the motions.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. It grew from your wife holding you accountable.
Yeah, very much.
Ultimatum. And then you were like, oh shit, like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a complete.
You get to that point to where, you know, and that's what's good about Sober Society as well, too. You know, most people that are in addiction, they find themselves in isolation as well, too.
Yeah.
And we're huge on you're not alone, because a lot of people, men and women, even on the other side of things, which is very cool with what my wife is starting, is the other side of addiction is the ones that are supporting the loved ones going through addiction.
Yes.
So that really goes unheard most of the time.
Yeah.
So what she has started on her side is the sobriety side of things, and also the support of the loved ones.
Yeah. That's so key, because it's a whole family system.
Right.
It's not the one individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. How has it been to have her support and like your community? I know you have Chris here and your wife. Like, how has their support helped you through this journey?
Oh, both of them. My wife's been there, even through all the turmoil. You know, she's always been there, and it's wild to know that she's still here in my life, still pushing and still, you know, getting us through our day-to-day processes. Yeah. She's a stay-at-home mom, and she's a killer with all the kids and lets me do my thing. And the support is huge. Chris, he's been there since day one too. We've known each other for almost 20 plus years. And
okay, cool.
We actually reconnected after me getting sober.
Nice.
And come to find out that he was sober a lot longer than I have. And we just clicked back like nothing happened, you know?
Yeah.
You have those relationships in your life that kind of astray, and then you just get back together, and you're like, we just left off where we were.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
I'm happy to have him a part of partnering up with us, and him being the vice president of Sober Society.
Nice.
So it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah. That's wonderful. And you mentioned your wife. She's a stay-at-home mom. How do y'all manage like life? I know y'all have some kiddos. Like, how do y'all manage like life and growing this? I know it's not easy to.
It's not, and I mean, she can contest to this and maybe say some words here and there, but
we'll have you on one day.
Yeah, she handles most of the day-to-day at the house, and you know, I've been, you know, so focused. I have my full-time job as well too. Okay. So that's,
what do you do?
I'm in sales. I work for a company called Motive Energy.
Nice.
So I've been in sales for quite some time, and this is something that is a passion of mine and kind of a side thing.
Yeah.
If it grows into something else, then of course that is the goal.
Yeah.
But obviously the bills need to be paid.
Yeah.
So
it's a balance. It's
that's where the balance
12-hour day balance is.
Exactly. So most of this stuff for Sober Society goes down at nighttime.
Okay.
Our meetings, we're tied in with our church as well too.
Okay,
which is huge. It's a funnel through our church that does small groups. So
Nice.
they bring in men and women, and it gets funneled to us. And
Yeah.
they send out an email or a text message to me. We reach out to them and
Nice.
tell them what it's about and see if they're
Yeah.
interested. And we're all about that. We're all about whatever works for you.
Yeah.
So, and I know Chris will probably hint more on that
Yeah.
when he comes up here and talks as well.
That's really cool. And I imagine it's a unique small group or like community in the church, which is kind of ironic because the church is for people who need support.
Sure.
And a lot of people need support with sobriety and recovery. And so how has it been like kind of integrating into church with that?
It's been great. I think maybe 20% of our members we just had an event at church called Rebel Conference, and it's a huge men's conference. It was over 1,000 men.
Whoa, that's
It was
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we were reconnected with quite a bit of fellowship there.
Nice.
Now, when it gets funneled over to us, I'd say about 20% has gone through the church, which of course I call them and let them know it's at another location.
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about it and ask them if they're good to come in. And a lot of them are looking for that type of community.
Yeah.
They're not looking for so much at the support system, but not looking for a recovery system. And
Right.
we're the outlet. We're the
Yeah.
outlet aftermath,
Yeah.
which is huge because once you do get to that treatment, people are already like in their head, what's the next step for me?
Right. That's huge. Yeah.
Sober Society is your next step.
Yeah.
Come out, be with Brotherhood, be with Sisterhood. And then, of course, like I mentioned, those gatherings that we do have, those are co-ed. We actually bring men, women, and their families together as well, too.
Awesome. I love that. It's very like family integrated
Yeah.
and community focused. And I love to hear that for San Antonio because I do feel like Austin, like we're super community focused. We'll do a lot of community events with other facilities or like nonprofits around town. But I've always had like a soft spot for San Antonio. And it seems like it's been just like people struggle to like have recovery businesses there. Like, and so it's cool to see that there's like this like awakening revival that people are opening up to this idea and like being healthy and like sober and like in recovery. And that's awesome to hear that y'all are on the forefront of that.
Yeah, and it again, it's like we always say, you don't have to have a horrible story or a horrible addiction. If you want to get sober or clean from just wanting to be healthy, you want to get back in the gym, have a spiritual reason, or you may have one of those crazy stories, and that's okay. It's okay. Whatever you've gone through, you're not alone, and your ultimate goal is to be a better person. Then that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's for everybody. It's not just the sober person.
Absolutely. And we're really big on, and I'll let Chris speak on this, the word or the phrase sober curious.
Sober curious. Yeah.
So
what does that mean for you?
That's been floating around for quite a while. The curiosity of sober curious.
A bunch of different things.
There is, for us, I think it's more of like, hey, I might not be ready to get sober, but I want to be around people that are and see what that lifestyle is like.
Yeah.
Can I do this? Can I do that? And just be in that atmosphere with other people. Because a lot of people are afraid when they're like, I don't want to get sober because I'm not going to have fun.
Right.
I'm not going to be the same person I am. But ultimately, you're a better person.
Yeah.
You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we've noticed that as well with our events. It's been like we've had like pretty big name stars around Austin, local bands and local artists doing live art, and people are like, this is amazing. Like, I didn't know I could be sober and like come to an event like this, come to a South by event. And so it's awesome to see that there's other people out there like doing the same and like showing people like sober curious, or just like wanting to live a healthy lifestyle. Like you can do it. Like it's possible. And you can bring what I love, what y'all are doing is like the family aspect. So having like the women's group and then bringing like the kids and the whole family to the events. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. And we mentioned this yesterday. We talked about kids and lifestyles and families last night. And one of the biggest memories of my first memory of being around alcohol was a very specific memory of me when I was around 11 years old.
Yeah.
And when I was going through my addiction of alcohol, you know, my kids and my wife had gone through a lot of things due to me.
Yeah.
And in my head, in my I was just basically saying, oh, they'll forget about it when they're older.
Right.
And it really clicked because I'll be giving my full testimony tomorrow tomorrow.
Nice.
For the first time.
Yeah.
That I really had to dive deep and go back. And that was such a prevalent memory in my head. And it clicked on me as I'm writing this testimony out that this whole time I'm telling myself, oh, my kids they'll forget about this.
Right.
But I remember this specific moment.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very, very bad moment for me. It was just something that was introduced to me and I didn't like how it made me feel.
Yeah.
So that really triggered something for me yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, you're breaking, it sounds like a generational thing. Like it's, you're like, do I want to pass this down to my kids? Or do I want to show them a different way?
First and foremost, my dad was not an alcoholic. It was just one specific memory. I lost him about 3 months ago, which was devastating.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And it was just, thinking of different memories and things like that. But first and foremost, he was an amazing man.
Yeah.
He taught me, and if he can see what we're doing now, and I know he was there when we started it, but just to be a part of what we're doing in the movement. And I know he is spiritually with us, but the mindset of physically being here is a whole different realm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's paved the way for me to do my type of ministry because he was a pastor for 26 years before retiring.
That's awesome.
So this is our ministry that we're trying to give to the world.
Bringing his legacy along.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are you like? You said I don't want to kind of like live this way. What are you replacing that with? Like, what is your like mission or whatnot to like impart to your kids and your family?
It's a day-by-day process. One thing I'm very big on is sobriety didn't make me perfect, and it doesn't make anybody perfect. And it's a day-to-day process. The men's meetings like Rebel Nights, the one we did them, it's just it's really a kick in the ass when you're around like-minded men. And I even mentioned it yesterday at our Black Rifle meeting. I wish I had that every single day. But you can just remind yourself every single day when you wake up. I've made a commitment. I fell short this morning, but made a commitment to get up early to help around the house with my wife and the kids and making breakfast, getting them ready for school, and things like that. But replacing it really just to be a better person. Yeah. The gym's been a huge thing for me since I was in my 20s. Nice. So that made it even more prevalent for me to do things like that too. But I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he was, not in it at the gym. He was so hungover, and I was just, I felt for him because I knew exactly how he felt. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it's really like a day by day thing. And
it is for me. It is
just better myself today.
It is. And I know a lot of people have structure and you do need some type of plan most parts of days. But life throws you curveballs every day. So you just need to learn how to deal with them. Yeah. I've been getting into a devotional every morning as well too. Nice. Praying more, things like that. So, but life is challenging for sure. I know earlier you had said how we do it together. She takes a lot of the family on part, and as we're growing, it's growing. It's slowly but surely. It does take a lot of our time. Yeah. It is stressful as well too. But at the end of the day, we know that we're doing something positive and something good. So that's what drives me to keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
Yeah, you could be causing stress with addiction and chaos that it brings. And so now it's just causing stress in a positive, healthy, growth-focused way.
Yeah, it's more of a...
Life is stressful.
It's very much stressful. It's like when you're drinking, life is passing you by, right? And you're stressed. Yeah. But when you're sober, I'm stressed because there's not enough time in the day now for me to finish something. And then you go back to the next day and then, man, you're stressing about tomorrow. But again, it goes back to the old saying, one day at a time, stop worrying about tomorrow or the next week or a month from now. Yeah. We get individuals all the time that are newly in their recovery and they want to, they're like, man, I don't know if I'll be able to stay sober. Don't worry about it. Right.
Just do it one day.
Exactly.
Just today. Can you do it today?
100%.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I think we're running up on time for, You're right at 20 minutes. Okay, perfect. Good timing. Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you guys.
Glad to have you. All right. Segue. Intermission. Okay. Atomic Souls podcast.
I'm grateful to be here with you this morning.
Excited for it. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Christopher Matz, and I'm part of Sober Society.
Yes.
And grateful to be on the show with you guys this morning. It's a pleasure to come up to Austin. Enjoy the traffic on the way.
Traffic was horrible.
But it was, it's always nice to get up here.
Yeah.
So grateful for the opportunity.
Welcome. I'm glad you could brave the traffic for us.
Yeah.
And so what do you do with Sober Society? What is your part in all of that?
So I'm part of the group alongside Stephen and Val, and I am the VP, which I do kind of whatever's needed to be done. If it's, help hosting events, jumping on podcasts, encouraging others, just sharing the mission whenever we go out and about. That's my current role with Sober Society.
Awesome. The operations behind the scenes.
It takes an entire team.
It does.
Yeah, I'm just a small part of it.
That's awesome. And what is your story with getting connected with Stephen and Sober Society? How did all that come about from your perspective?
Yeah, so God works in mysterious ways. My sobriety date is February 28, 2017.
Nice.
And I got sober, and I got sober through AA.
Okay.
And I still use the program daily. I have to get to a meeting every day. But Stephen and I met close to 20 years ago through the gym scene in San Antonio.
Nice.
We hung around the same vitamin shop called Nutrition FX back in the day.
Nice.
Here in San Antonio. I'm sure you've heard of FX. And we became friends back there. Not as close as friends, of course, that we are today. Pretty much back then we were acquaintances. I always admired his look and his bodybuilding physique.
Nice.
And so I would ask him a lot of questions and learn from him. And then we started to see each other later in the gyms, or later in the gym after I got sober. And we kept on just running into each other at periodic places. And he reached out and we had a conversation about him struggling with some of the things that I was struggling with. And that became more of a bond. Essentially, we became more as friends and became more brotherly at that point. And when he got sober, I just tried to be there and love on him and support him as much as possible during that time, alongside Val. And we became super close, started working out every single day, kind of doing the daily regimen together. And they created a clothing brand. Mm-hmm. And from that clothing brand, it really started to blow up. People would ask about the clothing brand, and it became very popular in that gym scene. And so started just kind of running ideas back and forth with each other alongside Val, and came up with Sober Society. Yeah. And it's more of a brotherhood type of group. And the kind of what we started with the merchandise was kind of the front driver, and now it's kind of the back driver. It's still there, but we focus more on the brotherhood support. We even have a sisterhood now arm of Sober Society as well. So we have the brotherhood and the sisterhood, but it kind of evolutionized in this last 2 years to what it is now, where we're having month or bi-weekly mixers, mm-hmm. helping guys out. We're having sober watch parties, where we get to jump on incredible podcasts like yours. We get to share the mission and talk about, the way that we live sober each and every day. You know, it's funny that when people ask my sobriety date, I typically don't mention my actual sobriety date. It's what I say is it's a day-to-day program, right? We do this, it's 24 hours. And so today I woke up about 5:49 this morning. And that's if you got it before me, you have more sobriety than me. But that's my sobriety just for today. Yeah. And so that's kind of the philosophy that I personally use. That's awesome. And so it's kind of how we take Sober Society as well. We have a big, I'm sure you're familiar with the Group Me, mm-hmm. and it's a way to communicate and keep each other accountable with the guys that we have intact. And so we use that Group Me device to share our gratitude, share our wins, things we're struggling with. And so it keeps everything intact in between the times that we actually get to go and meet in person.
Nice. So it's evolved out of just like a friendship and then more people joining into that and making it into this community and society.
Yeah, it just continues to evolve in all these incredible aspects. Now we're involved with the church that we're a part of. We started a small group there. We're getting all these opportunities to go and speak with people. Stephen gets to share his story tomorrow evening, October 15th. I know this is probably going to come out afterwards, but it's a really incredible experience for him to go up and share his personal testimony in front of a lot of folks that are going to need to hear that, And so those type of opportunities don't come around too often. And we know that God's behind all of the driving force and everything that we do.
Yeah. And I love that y'all have different stories of sobriety. Like getting clean in the rooms is like unheard of nowadays. So congrats on that.
Yeah.
Most people are going to treatment. And so it's cool that y'all, I feel like there can be like a butting of heads of like, oh, you got to go to treatment or you got to do 12 steps.
Yeah.
How has that been like meshing the two worlds?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because I'd probably say my first 5 to 6 years of sobriety was strictly through AA in the rooms. I was a big book thumper, like sponsorship, sponsees, like meeting a day, like, yeah, just a grand sponsor. Yeah, I'm in. And, sitting in the middle of the pack, not sitting on the outside of the room. Yes. And the Sober Society has kind of opened my vision to the fact that you can get sober in AA, but there's other ways you can get sober too, And for instance, like Steven, my partner, like he, I took him to some AA meetings, but it really wasn't for him. Yeah. And so he has his daily regimen that works for him specifically, and it works. Yeah. And I meet so many guys that come into our meetings that a lot of them are AA, but a lot of them aren't. Yeah. And that's totally cool. That's totally fine. It's like whatever works for you. If you had to go get treatment, there's a lot of guys in there that come and get treatment that join our events and it worked for them. Yeah. And they're sober today because of it. Yeah. And, it's whatever works for you. And AA works for me. And, for some people, it doesn't work. And so, but I do credit a lot of my growth through my sober years of growing spiritually to AA for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your like rock bottom, if you're okay, like going there?
Yeah, sure. So I had a drinking career from 20 to 35. Yeah, 15 years. Yeah. Everyone's rock bottom is different, right? It's like, you got to lose the house, the car, you got to lose everything.
Lose it or have an ultimatum.
Yeah. And some of them are just like really messy. And some of them like, you just, I've heard stories like, oh, that's pretty cool. You got sober that way. Yeah. Mine was more in the fact that I still had a really good job. I still had friends. I was still in the community. I was still doing things that I was doing. And if you saw from like the outside, right, the perspective, like you'd be like, this guy, there's nothing wrong with this guy. He likes to have a good time, Yeah. But internally I was dying. I was. And I called myself a sophisticated alcoholic, right? Functioning, sophisticated. Yeah. So like Monday through like Thursday-ish, because Fridays weren't always there because I would typically call in or not going to work. I was like, the guy that would show up at the office, do the work, get the congrats from the boss. Yeah. And then from a week that I put in, I deserved to have a good time. And so Thursday night would typically kick off some cocktails, and then I was a blackout drinker. And so I wouldn't stop until I blacked out. And so typically a lot of those Fridays I didn't make it into work, or I'd go in hungover, and it just took a toll on me after, years of doing that. Yeah. And I remember this was in February. I went to the Super Bowl and in Houston, Texas, and watched the Patriots play the Atlanta Falcons. Nice. It's the big 28-3 game that they come back in Super Bowl history. I wish I could have remembered it. Really? I was pretty blackout during it, but I was there. Yeah. So my buddies and I went to the game, and we just partied it up from that Friday through Saturday, Super Bowl Sunday, through Monday, came back somehow to San Antonio on that Monday, and continued to party and just skipped work altogether. I was still high off the momentum coming from the Super Bowl and us being there, not remembering it, but I was there, and just continued to party. And I think those 4 to 5 days of alcohol and drugs just really took a toll on me, and blacked out on that Monday and woke up in my apartment like at 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday morning. Like, didn't know how I got there, what had happened. I woke up in like panic. Like, thought I was gonna have a heart attack. Checked my pulse. Like, I'm freaking out because I don't know, can't find my keys, can't find my wallet. I'm by myself, and it's like a true mama's boy, right? I pick up the phone, and what do mama's boys do? They call their moms. And I picked up the phone as a 35-year-old grown man, and I called my mom. And I was like, Mom, I don't know. Like, I did a lot of bad things these last, 5 days. I think that I might die. Like, can't feel my heart, freaking out. And then I just heard the phone just like go silent. And, it's just something you never want to hear your son say coming from, a mom, I'm sure. And then she just started to cry and just felt for her. And I was like, man, I can't believe that I'm doing this. I feel like I'm going to die. And she talked me down a bit, and I remember getting off that phone laying there, and I'm just like, God, I never want to feel like this again. And I had said that prayer many times before, looking at that ceiling fan, but something clicked that night when I got off the phone, that deep down, I was just asking God to save me. And when I woke up that morning, like around 6, I looked at a text message from my sister, and it was like, hey, Mom told me she's a nurse. And she's like, hey, she texted me, like, I still have the text message too. She said, hey, Mom told me that what happened, like, you're going to lose us. Like, you can't do this yourself. She works in the NICU. So she sees babies dying all the time. She's like, these babies are fighting for your life, and you're destroying your life. I can't see my own brother do this. And so she said, like, we're going to be out of your life if you don't make a decision here. And so I still get kind of emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement. Like,
yeah. And she came over that morning. She took me to an AA foundation in San Antonio called Club 12. And I went to my first AA meeting. And I sat in there, and I thought I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I'm in here with a whole bunch of old people, weird people, smells like mothballs. This place is run down. Like, this place is cigarettes. Like, they hadn't smoked in there for like 10 years, but you still smell it. It's like, I grew up in like, I grew up in like smoky bingo halls, right? Playing bingo with my grandma. My grandma was like, she's like a pro bingo. Like, she had she had like 10 daubers, and she's just going like, and I would have my Pepsi and hot dog and just be like chowing down with cigarette smoke like all in my face. And when I walked into this Club 12, that's like all those memories brought back. But in a way, like in a weird way, like it felt like I was at home because I was so used to being my summers in those type of bingo halls that I felt like, man, this is weird, but this place kind of feels like home to me. And, I just took the advice. Like, I couldn't remember anything that those guys told me like that first meeting, but they just said, keep coming back. And at least I had the willpower and just like the openness to do that, because I think that's what kept me sober. I didn't know anything about AA. I just kept on coming back and I kept on listening. And during that time, I was like listening, and I was trying to find out all the differences. Like, this dude doesn't have a degree. This dude's like homeless. Like, but then this guy, and I don't know if this is too much, but I'm going to keep it real with you on ears.
That's what we're
this
here
guy,
for.
he said, like, in the 4th meeting, he's like, I was a pig when I drank. Like, I used to get so drunk, I'd urinate myself. And I was like, I stopped and I clicked, and I was like, man, I used to do that. Like, he just said in a room full of people. And when he said that, I looked at him and I was like, man, maybe I am one of these people. And that just really like opened my eyes and ears to like how I was not so different, but how I was so similar. And each of us had our own like story that could relate to each other from all different walks of life. And that is how I got connected by those, because I would hear someone's story and be like, man, I can relate to that guy. I can relate to her. I can relate to that person. And I stopped looking at people like they were different because of their color, their age, their demographic, what kind of car they drove. And then I started to see them for who they were. They're a child of God. And that's where I saw like, man, I'm just like you. And that's what kept me coming back and got me so connected in AA.
We're all the same, no matter where we come from.
Yeah,
we can all have the same story.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so leveling the playing field, basically, like with like humanity of like, we're all human and we can all have the same experience in different ways.
The pride and the ego, man, that will, it will take you out. You know, they say resentment is the number one offender in AA literature. You know, you'll hear that a lot, resentment, which I agree with. Like resentment is something that, you know, you can't have it in your life if you're trying to live a spiritual program. But ego and pride are just as bad because like I have to pray every single morning to be humble and to be less filled of Chris, you know, because and you've heard it before. It's like the ego is edging God out. And when I have that ego, when I have that pride, I'm not benefiting anybody but myself. I'm not helping. I'm not being loving. I'm not being kind. I'm not doing any of these things. And that's not who God intended me to be. And so I literally have to pray that in my morning meditation every morning, like release me of me, fill me more of you, and let me do your work. And that's the work that we're doing through Sober Society. We're getting out of ourselves. We're helping each other. We're reaching out to these men and women that are struggling, and we're doing the work that God intended us to do. Yeah.
It sounds like y'all have both had like that ego death, the like rock bottom, and from there gained confidence in your recovery and spirituality and sharing that with the community in San Antonio. That's huge.
It was, and I know Stephen was on here, and there was just a really powerful. We have our mixers every other Monday. So this is Tuesday morning. We just had our mixer last night, so it's fresh in our minds. But there was a really powerful morning. And I'm going to share this on here. Just really like. The work that we're doing often goes unseen, but like moments like what happened last night, it's like, man, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And we were there with a group of men, 20, 25 men. And we like it like that. Typically we had started with a real large group, and the past few months have been that median size, which we like because you get more interpersonal and you can relate. And in AA, they don't let you crosstalk. We allow that in our space. And we had a gentleman come up and share his story, and it's really powerful. Was in the military, got sober. Mother was a lesbian. Father was not a loving father. And he talked, and so many men could relate to that kind of like, that type of love. And he was sharing, and all the men there just like poured into him, and we were going back and forth. But I noticed when we were up there speaking that there was a young man sitting to my right, and I didn't know him, which happens all the time. But he was sitting there with his laptop, and I didn't want to be like, hey man, you got to put your laptop up. You know, we're trying to, you know,
Leave an intention here.
So he essentially was just working, and something like I think told him like, not to go anywhere and just listen. And he nudges me and he's like, hey, can I say a few words? I was like, sure, man. Yeah, it's space to speak. And so he stands up, puts his laptop up, and he's like, hey, guys, I just want to let you know I'm not part of your group. I was just in here working tonight. Something told me, though, when you guys were gathering to just stick around, listen while I worked. And he's just like, my name is, I forgot the young man's name. But he's like, you know, I'm not an alcoholic, but I do have some addictive behaviors. But my father struggled with alcoholism. He was an alcoholic, right? And he said about 4 years ago, his father was drinking and driving coming back from Odessa. And his father had an accident drinking and driving, and it killed 3 people. And he said that the sentencing was just recent, and so it was fresh on their minds. And his father just got like 14 years in prison.
Wow, yeah.
Really devastating. And he's like, you know, it is devastating. It's my mom, my sister, and I, and, you know, we're going through this together. But he's like, the thing is like the one thing that I saw here tonight that you guys have, he's like, I wish my dad would have found a group like yours before he decided to drive home that night. And that was just like powerful.
Yeah.
That was all God. And that's what we want. That's the type of moments in Brotherhood and the way that it connects us all together in that moment, that's what we strive to do with Sober Society.
Yeah.
And last night was just a beautiful moment for all of us because it was like God's divine timing right there with that young man in our group.
Yeah, just showing up and being authentic to who y'all are and building community, and it resonated with him on a different level, and that's really awesome. And I imagine for him, it's probably gives him a lot of hope that there are people trying to change like that, and there's hope for his dad to find community like y'all's. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, all right, we'll leave it there.
Sweet.
That's great. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.